I'll start off with our feature on the show today as we look at reports from the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, which says that there's no plan to hike pump price of petrol. The Group General Manager of the Public Affairs Division, Dr. Kenny Obatero, who dismissed the rumors about an imminent upward review of petrol price, says that the NNPC has not increased its ex-depot price and is certain that the NNPC is not likely to increase the price this month. According to Dr. Obatero, this response is a reaction to the recent development by many fuel stations who have adjusted their fuel pump prices from 162 naira 50 kobo to about 165 naira per litre and even as high as 170 naira per litre. Dr. Obatero also says that NNPC has a stock of petrol that can last well over 40 days, assuring Nigerians that there won't be any form of scarcity of the product across the country. He, however, urges the Department of Petroleum Resources to clamp down on marketers holding the product. Joining me now live in our Lagos studio to discuss this development and much more, I have energy analyst Olusegun Okwade. Good to have you on the breakfast show today.
Good morning, David. It's my pleasure to be here.
Let's now start with this price war we have at our hands at this point in time. As a Monday, Tuesday, we had customers buy the product petrol for at about 170, 180 naira per litre, 165. The price varied across board. What was your own experience? Have you bought fuel this week?
Yeah, I bought for just yesterday, and at the filling station very close to us here at Ujudu, I bought at 169 per litre. And reading from your story from the NNPC this morning, it baffles me to say it's a rumor. It's not a rumor. It's reality. That's what we have seen at the pump price as at this morning. And it baffles me the way they respond to issue, because I know a few weeks ago, like 2 weeks, the independent marketers came up to say there were issues with them and NNPC on the new platform system that they have done. And because they are not getting supplied, so many of them have paid, and there are no responses from them. They have resorted to go to the independent supplier to give them supply, which the landing cost as at then was about 163 naira. So they said by the time they had their logistics and some other things in some areas, definitely the pump price will be at about 168, 169, 175, considering that the logistics is going to take about 5, 8, 10 naira to the 162, 163 they are getting. So for the GM marketing telling us that it's a rumor, it's not a rumor, it's reality that some of us are paid for. This one, if someone is telling me, I'll say no. As at yesterday for 4:20 p.m., I bought the fuel at 169, and it's no longer a rumor, it's what is reality. So I think what they need to do is, rather than shining away from here and saying it's a rumor, address the issue of these marketers.
And talking about addressing this issue with the marketers, especially for those who are holding the product and those who are selling well above this price limit. Now, what's the role of the DPR, especially in its oversight function? If these sort of sharp practices are pertaining in the market, then they failed, literally.
Yeah, the DPR is to monitor the activities of the marketers and make sure they sell in line with what the government has stipulated.
And that figure still remains at 162 naira 50 kobo.
But what is the role of the people that are supplying the fuel? Have we addressed the issue of the e-payment platform that the marketers are complaining of? The answer is no. Nobody has come out on the part of NNPC to give the position of what they are challenging them about on the e-payment platform.
The response there is that it's an ongoing conversation. They are fine-tuning the platform. And
how do we fill the gap when the conversation is going on? These people are into business. If you are in business, you have operating cost of what you need to pay on daily basis. If you don't sell, you don't make money. So these people have to look for all the means to make sure that they have product to sell in order for the business to continue. So it's not that it's an ongoing conversation while you're keeping the business, because if they go ahead with that, that means we're going to experience scarcity. That means the only station that will be selling will be NNPC, and the independent marketer will not be able to do that, which will create scarcity for people. So I think they should first address the issue, not ongoing, but close that in such a way that those that are paid for the product will be able to get their product and sell at the regulated prices.
How do you think this market sentiment now fuels the immediate reaction of the average Nigerian to either panic buy or fret unnecessarily? How do you think all of this conversation goes within that line? And that's not the best practice as well.
Well, you know, we are very reactive in the country. At any very small spike, for me yesterday, I won't say I did panic buying. I still have an half tank that can take me for a week. But when I saw that practically like 2-3 filling stations that I passed, I saw queue, I was asking myself, what actually is the problem? So I just entered one. I said, okay, I said they've increased the price to 169. So practically, I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what will happen tomorrow. Let me fill my tank. So you expect such for every, because we must need to move. We have gone through pandemic period and we cannot afford to now say because of shortage of fuel, I don't want to go out. So if I have the opportunity to buy at any rate, let me quickly buy, fill my tank so that I can continue with my business.
What monitoring activities do you now expect from the DPR at this point in time, the NNPC and other authorities within the oil and gas sector now to ensure that they do their oversight function, going by these filling stations, check out for those who are holding, those who are selling well above the price limits? At this point in time, these are exploitative tendencies, no matter whatever color we bring to the table.
Yeah, part of the things, I always like us to take things objectively. Before you criticize anyone, what is actual cost of bringing some of those things? If I'm getting a product now, like we all know, when there is increase in price, there is swift response to adjust it. When they reduce, we need approval. Every marketer needs approval from the head office, which is very far from them. But when they increase, they are very close. So the DPR must first work with NNPC to address the issue of payment platform in such a way that we know that they are the major supplier to this independent marketer. Let it be known that you have made provision and you're supplying them. And if they are not adhering to the price at which you are selling to them, then the DPR can go ahead and clamp down on them. But a situation where they are not buying from NNPC and they are resorting to the independent people to supply them that cost, that fuel at that cost, definitely we can't challenge them because you cannot run at a loss when you're doing your business.
I want you to sum your thoughts in less than a minute now. What's the forecast for the pump price of petrol? Going by the figures we have now, we are having a fuel price reach about $62–63 on the international market, OPEC, Brent crude, and a whole lot more. What do you think we would have as our next fuel price?
Our government has told us that they've deregulated it. And you know what those things rely on?
It's a hands-off, no price mechanism or guide.
So what that relies on is basically the market forces, which is about the crude oil price and our forex. So when you look at these two factors, we are ready and we are in. We are not sounding pessimistic because the government said they are no longer subsidizing. So as the prices increases, maybe by the time we get to $70 per barrel and the forex got to about 500, which we're about 400 at black market now. We should be expecting to get the landing cost at a very high price. I might be buying fuel at 200 or more. Otherwise, because we said it the other time, when they removed the 5 naira, we asked them, how can the price at of crude keep increasing? And as it's static, there is something the government is doing that they are not notifying us if they say that this sector is deregulated and it's about the market force. So we want them to address that issue. If there is subsidy, let's know. If you are fully deregulated it, then definitely the people should brace up. Because once the price of crude oil keep increasing, the price will do. Because our government, from what we can see, are not ready to fix our refinery. And if they are not going to do that, the price of this will continue to increase with the price of crude oil and forex.
Thank you very much for your time on The Breakfast Show today, Olusegun Okwade. We have to really address all of this price and templates we have. We also have to wake up and smell the coffee. The reality is here to be said.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you
very much. Yeah.